Amara and Tenny grew up in the suburban area of Kubwa, Abuja. The two girls looked so much alike that many people often mistook them for sisters. Some even called them twins. Their parents would laugh at this, secretly admiring the bond the girls shared. Despite coming from different backgrounds, their friendship remained unshaken. Amara was raised in an upper-middle-class family, while Tenny came from a more modest home, but this never created a gap between them. Amara attended a private primary school, while Tenny went to a public one, yet every other day, after school, they would take turns visiting each other's homes. One Wednesday afternoon, Tenny reminded Amara with excitement, "Amara, it's Wednesday. We are doing our homework at your place. I can't wait to eat your mom's puff puff." Amara laughed softly. "I told my mom to use coconut flavor this time, since you loved it so much." My friend, you know me too well," Tenny replied with a smile. Their bond grew stronger with time. As they moved into secondary school, their paths began to differ slightly. Tenny was enrolled in a government secondary school in Kubwa, while Amara attended Bright Future Academy, a prestigious private school known for its beautiful structures and expensive fees. But even with these differences, their routine remained the same. They still met after school, still laughed, still shared everything, until one day, something changed. One Friday afternoon, Tenny saw Amara walking home with a group of new friends, and for the first time, she felt something she had never felt before: jealousy. Later that day, she confronted her. "Amara, so because you now have rich friends, you can't walk with me anymore?" Amara looked confused. "What are you saying? You told me you'd be finishing late today, so I had to join my friends in coming back home." Amara, so they are your friends now?" "Yes, they are. But Tenny, you have your own friends too." "But anyways, you know no one come close to you, right?" Tenny forced a smile and said, "If you say so," but deep down, something had already shifted. The months passed quickly, and before they knew it, it was time for their final examinations. WAEC, the exam every secondary school student feared, yet eagerly prepared for. For Amara and Tenny, it was no different. Long nights of reading turned into early mornings of revisions. Dreams of the future kept them going, and finally it was over. Weeks later, their results were released. Both girls had done exceptionally well. It was a moment of pride, not just for them, but for their families. To celebrate, Amara's parents hosted a small graduation party at home. Laughter filled the house. Music played in the background. For a moment, it felt like nothing had changed between the two friends. They talked about university life, their dreams, and the kind of future they both imagined, but deep down, their paths were already beginning to separate. Months later, Amara gained admission into a private university where she began studying petroleum engineering. Everything about her new life was structured: hostels, lectures, rules. It was a different world, but she adjusted quickly. For Tenny, things took a little longer. A year passed before she finally secured admission into the University of Abuja, where she began studying accounting. Unlike Amara, Tenny chose to live off campus, a small apartment, but with one thing she valued the most: freedom. At first, everything seemed normal. They still called each other, still checked in from time to time, but slowly life began to happen. By 300 level, Tenny's life had completely changed. She had finally gotten the taste of the lifestyle she had always dreamed of. It suddenly started: a new phone, expensive clothing, weekend outings with different men, and then she finally met one big fish, Chief Badmus Sanusi, a wealthy and well-known minister of the Federation, a man whose name opened doors and whose money changed lives. What started as a simple connection quickly turned into something deeper. Chief began to spoil her with money, gifts, and so many more. Tenny was no longer the girl from a modest background. She was becoming something else. Classes became less important. Attendance became optional. With money came shortcuts. Lecturers were settled. Marks were secured. And just like that, Tenny believed she had finally arrived. Or so she thought. Time went by and soon it was their final year in university. Amara was now in her 500 level while Tenny was in her 400 level. One evening, Tenny called Amara. Amara, I've made reservations at lavish restaurant for 8 p.m. on Friday. Amara hesitated. Tenny, I don't think I can afford that place, so can we go somewhere simpler? Tenny laughed softly. Don't worry, the bills are on me. Amara smiled. Big girl Tenny, thank you. I'll try and look nice. Friday night came, and when Amara saw Tenny, she was stunned. Tenny looked like money itself. Designer outfit, flawless makeup, expensive aura. She had become everything she once dreamed of, an Abuja big babe. The night was filled with laughter and memories, but before they left, Tenny made an invitation. Come over tomorrow, let me show you where I live now. Saturday came, and when Amara arrived at Guzape Hills, she was speechless. A luxury apartment, a brand new 2024 Range Rover parked outside. Everything screamed wealth. Tenny, you're doing so well. Did you get a big job? Tenny laughed. What job you give me this kind of life? I have a sugar daddy and he spends well on me. Amara's smile faded slightly. You actually went through with it. Yes, and look at me now, Tenny replied confidently. If you like, keep being a good girl. He won't give you this lifestyle. I can even connect you to one of his friends. Amara shook her head. I'm fine, Tenny. I don't want that. After NYC, their lives took completely different turns. While Amara sent out job applications daily, Tenny was traveling, shopping, and living the life she had always dreamed of. 2 years later, Amara received an offer from Total Energies, one of the leading oil companies in the country. It was a breakthrough, but for Tenny, it triggered something darker: envy. She smiled on the outside, but deep down, she couldn't understand why Amara always seemed to win. Not long after everything changed, Chief Badmus Sanusi was arrested for embezzlement of public funds. Just like that, Tenny's world crashed. The luxury lifestyle disappeared. She was forced to sell her car just to survive, while Amara continued to grow in her career, getting promotions and excelling. Tenny struggled, still searching for another man to fund her lifestyle. Despite everything, Amara remained a good friend. Every month, she sent foodstuffs and essentials to support Tenny. She even offered her a job opportunity, but Tenny refused. If they are not paying me up to 1 million naira, I am not interested. Amara tried, but Tenny had made up her mind. One day after a conference at work, Amara met someone, Jide Babalola, a confident, intelligent man who walked up to her and said, I saw you earlier and I knew I couldn't live without talking to you. That moment changed everything. Jide was everything Amara needed: kind, loving, successful yet humble. Their love grew quickly and beautifully, and soon he proposed. Amara said yes, but when she shared the news with Tenny, something dark awakened again. This time, it wasn't just envy, it was resentment. Why does she always have everything? That question would lead to something unthinkable. One Saturday afternoon, Amara was kidnapped. A ransom of 40 million naira was demanded. Her family was devastated. Jide was broken. But days before the ransom was paid, Amara overheard something. One of the kidnappers was having a conversation with the other kidnapper, and Tenny overheard him saying, if no before Madam Tenny, we no go see this kind money. Thank God say she say make we kidnap this her friend because 40 million naira na serious money. Amara heard this and her heart dropped. It couldn't be. It couldn't be Tenny. But it was. It was Tenny. Which other Tenny do I know? Only one Tenny could have done this. She cried. She was devastated. She was heartbroken, but she had to think fast. Amara began searching for her phone that was taken from her by the kidnappers when she got kidnapped. And as God would have it, she found the phone in one of the bags of the kidnappers, and she told them she wanted to ease herself. One of the kidnappers escorted her into the bathroom and was standing right outside the door. Amara opened her phone and decided to text Jide, told Jide about everything that she heard, and Jide, who is a smart thinking man, decided to plant a detective to track the money. Finally, it was the day of the release. Amara was released, and immediately Jide took her to the hospital to receive treatment. The detective had tracked the money down to Abuja Premier Hotel, where Tenny was waiting for her share. Tenny got arrested alongside the kidnappers. Amara was so heartbroken. Her childhood friend had betrayed her. Even then, she chose forgiveness, but Tenny, she showed no remorse, only bitterness. After everything, a year later, Amara and Jide got married, and she finally found peace again, while Tenny faced the consequences of her choices. Some friendships are built on love, but destroyed by envy. This is the end of our story.